What happens when a music legend walks onto daytime TV's most infamous stage and refuses to be silenced? The moment Cher stepped into the studio of The View, the temperature dropped 10 degrees. What should have been a lighthearted chat about her memoir became the most explosive on-air reckoning in television history. It began deceptively calm. Cher walked out with her signature grace, the audience erupting in applause. But from the second she sat, something in the host's smiles didn't reach their eyes. Joy Behar opened first. So Cher, over 5 decades in the industry, how do you manage to stay, well, relevant? The word relevant hit like a slap. Cher's expression didn't change, but her eyes hardened. I don't try to stay relevant, Joy, she replied, her tone even, but edged like glass. I stay honest. I speak from truth. I don't need to chase trends or controversy to matter. A flicker of discomfort passed across the panel. Whoopi adjusted in her chair. Sarah Haynes offered a smile that felt more like a grimace. Ana Navarro leaned in, her voice too sweet. Well, your social media's been passionate lately. Some would even say polarizing. Cher's posture stiffened. I've always used my voice to speak up. If that makes people uncomfortable, that's on them. I'm not here to make people comfortable. I'm here to make them think. Joy pushed in harder. But don't you think celebrities should focus on entertaining and leave politics to the professionals? Cher didn't blink. That's hilarious, coming from a show that spent the last decade dissecting politics. I guess you only support strong opinions when they align with yours. Whoopi raised a hand, trying to diffuse. Now, Cher, we're just having a conversation. No, Whoopi, this isn't a conversation. This is a firing squad in designer heels. The tension was thick. Sarah Haynes suddenly spoke up, thinking she had the kill shot. Well, speaking of public opinion, there have been some rumors about your personal life, your business dealings. The studio froze. Cher leaned forward, voice low and lethal. Excuse me, what are you implying? Sonny Hostin jumped in, sensing blood. We're just saying, for someone who champions authenticity, there seem to be a lot of unanswered questions. Cher sat back slowly, rage simmering. You want to go there? You want to turn this into a tabloid takedown under the disguise of journalism? That's rich. I came here to talk about my life, my story, not to be dissected by people who pretend to champion women while tearing them apart for ratings. Joy leaned in, tone sharp. Maybe people are questioning your stability because of outbursts like this. That did it. Cher stood, the shift seismic. The atmosphere snapped. You could hear a pin drop. My stability, she said, voice trembling with fury. I've survived blacklists, stalkers, industry sexism, and death threats. I've outlasted executives, labels, predators, and you think this little coffee table club is going to break me? Whoopi's voice lifted. Okay, let's keep this civil. Where was the civility when you ambushed me with innuendo? Cher shot back. You all want to claw at my legacy because you can't stand that I've never needed to beg for approval. Ana Navarro tried to step in. There's no need to make this personal. Oh, now it's personal. Cher laughed bitterly. You've spent the last 10 minutes attacking my relationships, my character, and now my sanity. And I'm supposed to sit here and smile through it? Sarah Haynes, visibly shaken, tried to backtrack. You never meant to be caught, Cher snapped. You thought I'd play along. You thought I'd laugh, wink, and let you strip me down for ratings. But I'm not built that way. I never have been. She turned to the camera, no longer addressing the panel, but the audience at home. This is what happens when real power walks into fake empowerment. When a woman who's fought for everything she has sits down with women who built their brand by tearing others apart. The host sat frozen. Their plan was unraveling, publicly, spectacularly. Joy tried to fight back. Cher, you're being dramatic. Oh, sweetheart, Cher growled. Dramatic is what I do on stage. This question mark, this is me calling out a group of bullies who hide behind feminism to justify cruelty. She stepped closer to the desk, commanding the entire room. The panel shrank back. You want to talk about relevance? I've sold 100 million records. I've won Grammys, Emmys, and Oscar. I've fought for LGBTQ+ rights when it was dangerous to speak. I've marched for civil rights. I've faced violence, silence, and erasure. And still I'm here. Sonny tried again. Cher, please, we don't want to fight. Then why did you come armed? Cher snapped. You came at me like vultures with cue cards. And now that the tables turned, you're playing the victim. The audience sat in stunned silence. Even the crew had stopped moving. The control room watched breathless. Cher wasn't finished. You know what real strength is? Real strength is speaking truth when the world wants you silent. Real power is walking into rooms like this and not letting the knives in your smiles cut any deeper. Whoopi stood, a final attempt at regaining control. That's enough. We can stop this right here. No, Cher said, her voice suddenly quiet, and somehow even more terrifying. You don't get to silence me now. You've done enough damage. She turned to the cameras again. To every woman watching, don't let anyone, not a panel, not a network, not even the world, tell you that you're too loud, too old, too difficult, or too emotional. Be louder, be tougher, be unapologetically you. She began gathering her things, slowly, deliberately, her dignity radiating off her like heat. I came here to share a story, to offer something real in a world choking on plastic smiles and fake concern. And what I walked into was a performance. Not mine, yours. She turned to face each of the hosts in turn. You call yourselves professionals, but professionals don't ambush guests. Professionals don't bait women and then cry foul when they fight back. You're not journalists. You're just bullies with cue cards. Ana Navarro tried one last desperate plea. Cher, wait. We can clear this up. Clear what up? Cher said, her voice like thunder. You exposed yourselves. The world saw it. You can't walk this back. She turned again to the camera, delivering what would become one of the most quoted lines in modern television. When you build a platform by tearing others down, eventually you'll meet someone who won't crumble. Someone who doesn't need your approval. Someone who's survived too much to be scared by a table full of cowards. With that, Cher turned toward the studio exit, walking slowly, powerfully, her heels clicking like a countdown. Just before disappearing off stage, she paused and looked back one final time. Good luck explaining this to your audience. Good luck explaining how you turned a celebration of strength into a hit job. And good luck living with what the world just saw, that behind all your talk of sisterhood was envy, fear, and smallness. The door clicked shut behind her. The host sat in stunned silence. The audience didn't clap. No one moved. And in that silence, one thing was clear. Cher hadn't just survived the view, she had burned it to the ground and walked out more legendary than ever.